Hi everybody and welcome back to the Willie St. Willie channel once again, and today I'm here to talk about an analog horror series that I think is probably one of the most creative and unique ones that I've seen in quite a long time, and that would be The Man in the Suit. Now, I've talked about analog horror on this channel before with the Jurassic Park VHS tapes, which, by the way, if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend you go check it out. But basically, if you're unfamiliar with what analog horror is, it's a very popular subgenre of horror that's taken the internet by storm in the past few years. It incorporates old analog-style media such as TV broadcasts, VHS tapes, and includes different horror elements that evoke feelings of dread, fear, or uncanniness, and maybe even a little bit of nostalgia. Now, within this little subgenre of found footage, you're probably familiar with a few different popular series on YouTube, like Local 58 or the Mandela Catalog, but today this series holds a rather special place in my heart, and that's because it talks about our favorite lovable kaiju, Godzilla, or if you're feeling like a weeb, Gojira. That's right, this is a Godzilla-themed analog horror series. And if you couldn't really tell, I'm a big Godzilla fan. I've seen all of the movies at least once, and I actually have most of them on a DVD box set that my uncle gave me as a kid. Actually, I think I have it laying around here somewhere. Yeah, baby, yeah! I know you can't really see all these movies, but here we go, some right there. I think this is like the millennial box set? I don't even remember. I didn't organize them very well. But oh, this one is my favorite one as a child. Godzilla Final Wars. I watched this one like 30 times as a kid because I liked the over-the-top Power Ranger-esque fight sequence of the humans, and then also Godzilla fights like every kaiju known to mankind in this. Let's see. Oh no. I also have He Who Shall Not Be Named. But yes, that's me, big Godzilla fan, and actually if you want to add my PlayStation Network gamer tag, it's actually XXX Godzilla Fan 69XXX. I'm just kidding, that's not actually my gamer tag, don't type that in. I don't know if that's someone's actual gamer tag and I just like leaked it onto the internet. I trust you guys, I have a pretty reasonable fan base, I don't think you'll do anything too crazy. Now, the Man in the Suit series originates from the channel Unknowingly / Mr. Unlovable, and I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. And it actually isn't the first analog horror Godzilla series I've seen, as there is another one called the Suitmation Trials, which he clearly took inspiration from. Or maybe he made that one too and just went by another name. I have no way of knowing that or proving that. It's just a little headcanon that I thought was kind of funny like 5 minutes ago. Now, I think the Suitmation Trial series has a very strong start, but the overarching plot is a little bit more convoluted, not as straightforward, and also there has been a new entry in like over 10 months, so I'm sticking with the Man in the Suit as I think it personally that it's a way better series, so yeah, we're just going to be covering that. Currently, the Man in the Suit series only has around 11 videos and is currently ongoing, and I'm sure the creator is hard at work creating more entries for us to gobble up. So obviously with that, I'm only going to be able to cover the story up to the latest 11th entry. So ladies and gentlemen, hug your little Godzilla Jr. plushies tight, and without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off, we have the Godzilla suit incident 1954. The video slowly opens with a shot from the original Godzilla 1954 movie while playing the iconic Godzilla theme, before cutting to several other photos taken on a set with captions reading, "The person in the Gojira suit was unknown at the time." But the story the actor has with Gojira is odd. This is a photo of him in the suit. He got the acting job of being and wearing the Gojira suit. It then quickly flashes a message written in Japanese saying, "Godzilla may be a monster, but I wonder if it's natural for me to be in the body of this giant so I can be one with him." The video then continues on describing how the actor fell in love with his role as Gojira. A Toho producer was quoted saying he would wear the suit most of the time to the point that you never saw his actual face. Even when we take breaks, he would just wear the suit. The suit would sometimes heat up, but he just didn't care. It was like he was addicted to the suit, like if it's calling his name. It has gotten to the point where he brings the suit home even though we tell him not to. He wouldn't really speak a lot, but he would say that his name is Goji, basically the nickname we gave to the suit. The last time he was on set, he was acting in the suit until he just stopped. Several minutes later, he would start to walk and stop yet again. His breathing was muffled, yet he was also breathing oddly. The director thought this was a joke, poking at him to get back in place, but he just wouldn't budge. After 2 odd minutes of oddly breathing, he would tell people to check on him and to make sure he takes off the suit. This was the photo someone took before the person on the right saw what was inside. The man opened the costume to see that he was growing into the suit. His flesh would slowly rip away as he tried to open the pocket where actors would enter the suit. The suit was now his skin. Oh yeah, and something I forgot to mention is that the video descriptions are always written in Japanese, but luckily I was able to translate them too, and the first one reads as follows. Godzilla may be a monster, but it seems different to me. He is rather a god. He controls our world according to each order, and I will be the meat of the beast. I will be the host of Godzilla, because I want to be a god who is respected by people. I want to be the meat of this beast, and the fear of which one is wrong. I'm not a movie monster. It's Goji, the law of good and evil. I will live in this beast, because he's the only one who can help us. There is no god. Just me, Goji. Now, I think they shed a lot of light on the mindset of the actor in the Goji suit. It's that he views the suit as kind of like its own living entity or a god, and he wants to become one with it and be the host for it. Now, at this point, it's kind of unclear whether or not, while he's in the suit, he has total free will and control of his actions, like kind of like the Spider-Man symbiote, or if he's just completely taken over and has no free will while he's inside the suit. At that point, it's a little bit unclear right now. The next video, Inguira's suit incident in 1955, opens with a trailer for the movie Godzilla Raids Again, before cutting to the usual captions we see explaining that the Suit Man actor returned for his role in the second movie with Toho, keeping the suit incident from the previous film under wraps in order to avoid a lawsuit and public shame. It further explains more of the physical injuries the actor received in the previous video, and after doctors examined the man in the suit, they concluded that he consumed a drug that made his skin and flesh inflate and fuse with the suit as he was wearing it, and that his bones were rearranged to match the height of the suit. And apparently, he was able to see out of the eye sockets of the suit, and his eyes were bloodshot. The name for the actor who plays Inguiris is unknown. People on set noticed how he was odded out by the man in the suit. No one had told him what had happened and what he was now. The man in the Godzilla suit was very cooperative. Even after losing his vocal cords, he could still make noises, like one of an animal. Now, the final fight between Godzilla and Inguiris plays out mostly the same until we get to the end. The man in the Godzilla suit would chop on the actor's head, making him bleed. This was not part of the script. The actor would yell for help as the teeth clamped onto him. He would stop moving. The man in the suit would protect the unconscious actor as he roared at anyone who came close to it. The actor would awaken, shaking violently as he breathed heavily. The crew on set helped him up. Fearing the worst, they tried to take off the suit, but it wouldn't budge. A picture was taken of the man in the suit roaring and protected the unconscious actor. This is the picture. And in the final frame of the video, the caption reads, "Help me," with a description being translated as follows: "Soon the army will rise. It is the army that I created, an army that shows what happens when a nuclear war exists. They will get the same creatures that they made with the atomic bomb. The truth will be passed on to others, and soon my family will be avenged. They will understand that we will not resign. I am not afraid of anyone. I am not afraid of weapons. I am not afraid of bombs. I, Goji." The next part of the description reads from a point of view of another character, most likely the man in the Anguirus suit, talking to something else. "Please help me. Please help me. What's wrong? Please help me. Please help me. Why does my body hurt? Why can't I talk? Can I talk? It hurts. Please help me. Please help me. How can I see what happened? Will my daughter be okay? Help me. Why can't you hear me? Help. Do not speak. Please help me. Please help me. Please God. There's no God. Who are you and what do you want from me? I would like you to participate. Why is it so painful that I can't get out of the suit? Calm down. You are one with the suit. Why? Why please help me? Someone please listen. Listen to me and only to me. You were not chosen for no reason. I heard that you lost your daughter. Did your daughter die in a bomb? Don't worry. I will heal you. I will make you whole again. I'll help you, but only if you help me. Do you want revenge on your daughter? For your son? For his wife who died without any remorse? Who are you? This is Goji. Only Goji." Well, this kind of answers my question earlier about whether or not the man in the suit had free will over his actions, and I would say most likely, but the man in the Anguirus suit probably doesn't. So yeah, this entry just adds a whole nother level to the horror, as apparently the man in the suit is able to turn and infect other suit actors with his affliction, kind of like an analog horror herpes, I guess, and he's able to turn them into real life kaiju just like himself. So yay! The next video opens with yet another trailer, but this time for the original Godzilla vs. King Kong movie, before the footage starts glitching out and we get more captions explaining some events surrounding the production of the movie. And goddammit, dude, stop having these quick flashing messages that I have to translate. This one reads, "Why are we with them?" With the man in the suit being the only Godzilla suit at the time, they used him for the next film. With King Kong being an American film, the man in the suit wasn't having it. This is where I come in. I'll be hiding my eyes and my name for me and my family's safety. I was put into the job of being the cameraman. They told me what happened before and told me to stay quiet about it, or I would be arrested. But the truth needs to come out. somehow. The man in the suit wasn't happy making a movie with the Americans. Toho's producers forced him to look more appealing to a younger audience. He wasn't happy with how this all played out. He had a very bad dislike towards the actor in the King Kong suit, Soichi Hirose. He either thought Shoichi was a traitor for portraying an American monster, or saw something in him. We knew that he wasn't a big fan of the Americans. He would roar at them and try to attack them. We treated him like he was a lion at the zoo. We had to film one more scene. I was instructed to not stop filming. The script was for after destroying the big building, he would act to use his atomic ray breath on him. It did not go as planned. We then get footage of the final fight between Godzilla and Kong at the end of the movie, and everything goes smoothly and according to plan until we get to the very last portion of the fight. The man in the suit would push Shoichi off of the cliff, and I had to record it all. There was a struggle in the water, splashing as one of them frantically tried to get out of the other's grasp. Only one of them rose from the water. I was sick to my stomach, not wanting to know what he had done to Shoichi. I got my other camera and ran. I tried to leave the long corridors of the Toho studio, wanting to take a quick breath of fresh air, but I heard screams from the room I had left. The power went out. I used the flash of my camera trying to look around, frantically trying to find an exit. I heard someone's footsteps walking towards me. I thought it was an employee. I took a photo wanting to find an exit quick. It wasn't an employee. It was the man in the suit. The description of the video reads, "We were supposed to make a movie about what had happened, about what they did to my family. What they did to me, oh filthy traitors. I didn't pour my soul into this carcass to be entertained, and with those that killed my family. Betrayer." So from my understanding so far, this basically shows that the man in the suit is resentful towards Americans for the Hiroshima and Nagasaki nuclear attacks during World War II, and even had family members who died during it. And seeing Toho collaborate with Americans just for the sake of entertainment, and even seeing a Japanese suit actor portraying an American monster, is just a complete and total betrayal and belittles Goji's standing as a god. And that's something that he can't tolerate. Also like how this video references the supposed alternate cut of the Godzilla vs. King Kong ending where Godzilla actually wins. And it's basically a myth because there are two cuts of the movie, but in both cuts, King Kong wins. That was always the plan when they made the movie. So, but yeah, I like how the creator is very invested in the Godzilla fandom lore. Just puts a smile on my face. I mean, it's just little Easter eggs, you know, it's fun watching it. I'm like, oh, that's what he's talking about. I get that reference. I also like how every video just adds so much more to the lore, like not a single minute is wasted. Just like this next video, Depiction of Growth, 1962. So after this unnamed cameraman's encounter with Goji, he wanted answers. So he sought out help from his friend Elisa and recorded their phone conversation.
The thing is, whatever this was caused wasn't from a pill. This is something else. Oh God. This is the work of radiation. Holy shit. The man in the suit doesn't fuse with the suit instantly. His body explodes in the suit, then it reshapes itself in the suit. How do I explain this? Imagine a cream-filled donut.
Cream-filled donut? I'm sorry. Keep going.
Without the cream, it's mostly a flat donut. That was the suit before, but because of the filling. The man, it basically filled up all the space. But him and a cream-filled donut are different. The cream and donut are separate entities. There is a barrier so they don't mix. The man in the suit, however, his skin, his flesh, his bones, it's fusing with the suit. His teeth would be the suit's. Whatever he took. It's mutating him. It's making him more like a creature than a human. Soon he will have animalistic properties, like using its teeth more effectively, and would be able to control his tail. You said his eyes could move, and that they are bloodshot? But in this photo, his eyes flashed back. Human eyes don't do that. You need to try and put him down. If not, it is probably too late for mankind.
She said something about him mutating to the point that he looks like a beast. I questioned what he would look like when he is fully mutated, but she corrected me. There is no stopping point for mutation. She then told me to go to an AM artist and gave me a description that I sadly forgot now. I told them to make the art, and they complied. My Japanese would be a bit rusty because I thought I asked for one drawing, but got 3. Here are the drawings. Now in the last drawing you hear a very low mumbled talking, and I try to make out what it was saying, but it sounds like it's in Japanese. But I was able to translate the description of the video, which read, "I am not a monster. I will help you all. I will kill those who have wronged me, those who murdered my family, and those who supported them. You killed my family. Monsters." Okay, so basically Goji, or the man in the suit, is becoming a real-life Shin Godzilla where he's going to just mutate endlessly to the point where he might become unstoppable and potentially be a world-ending threat. And since he has a hatred for Americans, that means he's going to be coming for me and everyone in my American audience. So for any of you doomsdayers out there, if you happen to predict that the end of the world will be caused by a man in a rubber Godzilla suit that probably smells like onions and expired white Gatorade, well, lucky guess. I mean, good for you, man. The next video, whose title translates to Suit Trial 1958, has the cameraman sneaking around a Toho building where he first encountered the man in the suit, and he finds a tape labeled Compatibility Test that was made after the Anguirus incident. The captions in the video read, "We are fully aware of the situation we are in. We will do our best to test what they need to hear as they can listen. We will try and do some audio tests. Let's start with the man in the suit. We have him in the cell. Make sure he is there until you can train him. He destroyed the light and is in the darkness, but that's okay. The camera has night vision." Now in the tape, the man in the suit is just kind of standing there in a dark room talking to himself. And even though most of what he says is very hard to make out, it's very clear what he's saying in the last line. And it's probably one of the most recognizable quotes of all time, where he says, Now, the description of the video is mostly just a rough translation of what the tape's captions read, except for the top line, which reads, "Why should I listen to him?" Now, if it wasn't obvious already, this video basically outright confirms that Toho knew way more about the man in the suit and his condition than was initially let on, to the point where they literally keep him in a cell and attempt to train him. And yeah, that's a classic shady, clandestine, corrupt corporation type vibe. So, yeah. Now, I'm not saying the real Toho would ever do anything like that. I just have to clarify that. Because this is fictional, you know, this is fake. So, please don't sue me. The next video, titled Mailed Message 1962, picks up with the still unnamed cameraman having received a strange tape in the mail that he believes was made by some other third party and not Toho. And I think I should just show it instead of reading off all the captions. The description also reads, "You took everything from me." And it's pretty clear at this point that this isn't just some normal story about some guy who fused with a Godzilla suit, but this is a story about revenge. It's a story about the brutality of war and the countless lives it claims. But before I get too deep into all that, let's move on to the next video. The next video is titled Dorsal Extraction 1962. I recently got 2 sets of mail. They were shabby, but they came from Toho. They didn't look professional. They looked sloppy. One was how nobody at Toho mailed me the weird package, even though the mailing address was from there. Second was that I was fired. They must have thought I was telling people this. They were correct. Thankfully, I had befriended someone to be a spy and get me photos and tapes of what was happening. He came here earlier with a tape called Dorsal Extraction. They then try to remove one of the dorsal fins from the suit until it rapidly grows back. The video then ends with a man in the suit attacking one of the cameramen recording the procedure, and apparently the camera flash hurt his eyes. The description of the video also reads, "I'm beautiful in the dark." Yeah, you are. So it seems like despite Toho's attempts at controlling the man in the suit, and even simply removing him from it, are just ineffective at this point, and him in the suit are just one. In the next entry, in Ghira's suit, 1956, the cameraman manages to find out more information about what had happened to the man in the Anguirus suit from the second entry. And yes, I just realized that I've been saying Anguirus instead of Anguirus. I'm pretty sure the right pronunciation is Anguirus. I think it threw me off because I'm not used to seeing the name written down and reading it, but I don't know, whatever. We have tried our best to comply with the other person mutated in the suit, but his persistence hurts our finances. People want to see him, but he doesn't want to be seen. I was confused at first. This was all? Then he started to explain. He explained that the next movie was supposed to be the man in the Anguirus suit versus the man in the suit. They have tried their best wanting to comply with Anguirus, like they were training a dog to do tricks. He snapped a photo of them trying to comply with the Anguirus. They said they were going to use force on him, using tasers and such. But he warned me that there was a movie in the works. Something about Godzilla battling a giant moth. Let's go, Mothra fans. Okay, rise up. Where you at, huh? What you know about that Mothra versus Godzilla? What you know about that rebirth of Mothra? What you know about that Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah giant monsters all out attack? Okay, what do you know about that, huh? But yes, guys, Mothra is a big reoccurring kaiju character in the Godzilla franchise and is actually considered one of Godzilla's closest friends. Like, go out and drink beers on the weekend, and it gets invited to all the cookouts type friends. They're like this. Well, most of the time anyway. Most of the time they're like that, but, you know, we don't talk about that. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to read the description of this video. Why can't they listen? I just want to be human again. Get over it, crybaby. But yes, guys, it does seem that they're basically forcing the Anguirus actor to continue acting against his will. Almost like he's a dog or a pet that they can just train, and it seems like there's pretty much no hope for him being normal again. Okay, so I'll go over my whole synopsis of the series at the end because we're almost caught up to the most recent video. In the next video, Rare Newspaper 1964, we see that the cameraman who's basically solidified himself as our protagonist is having second thoughts about this whole investigation he's been doing, and feels like he's just in too deep to stop now. However, during all this, he finds out something very disturbing while reading the local news. During the filming of a movie, the man in the suit escapes. Sightings and witnesses have seen a creature that resembles a lanky and tall Godzilla. One late night couple started to travel home as the husband took some photos. The husband was a photographer and thought taking a picture of the road would be an inspiration to his next photo piece. One of the photos captured this. Around later that night, a boy would see a silhouette of this mysterious beast. Thinking it was Godzilla, he stormed outside with a camera trying to take a photo of it. These were the photos he was able to take. We have tried to interview the kid, asking him what he had seen and to draw a picture of the creature. "I've seen the film with my dad. I know what Godzilla would look like," said the kid. "The thing I saw outside on the street wasn't Godzilla. The beast's skin looked fake yet real. Very uncanny. I don't think it was a creature. It might be some man in a suit. I don't know how I can explain his face. It somehow kept changing. I think it's because of the lack of sleep. But I do remember one of his faces." He quickly drew a drawing of it. Toho got wind of this fast, explaining that this was a promotion for their new movie. Somehow they were able to stop any more copies of the story from printing again. I have too many questions. What was he even doing outside? How did he even escape? And were Toho able to catch him? The video then ends, showing us a picture of Mothra. The description of this entry translates to, "This place, the outside air, the cars, the windows, the house. Did they just move on? Will we forget?" Pretty sure this is implying that when the man in the suit escaped, he managed to go and visit Hiroshima and was just shocked that everyone just seemingly moved on from the bombing when he clearly hasn't. But here we are, the latest entry in the series, and it actually was uploaded around today, as of me recording this. The video Missouri Suit Incident 1964 opens with a distorted trailer for Mothra vs. Godzilla before the Toho spy, working with the cameraman, informs him on the events leading up to the escape that occurred in the last video during the movie's production. And we find out that Toho has basically been treating the man in the suit horribly and using him as a circus animal just because they can. However, the most interesting part is that instead of using another suit actor to fight Goji like they've been doing, they instead use a puppet for Mothra, or Missouri, and with the man in the suit treating it like a living being and not realizing it's a puppet, everything kind of goes smoothly. However, there's one problem. They realize that they need a person to get inside the Mothra larva costume, and a female actor enthusiastically volunteers. And with the extra security they had and her parents being there to cheer her on while they filmed the movie, she felt totally safe. That was until this happened. In one of the scenes they were filming, the man in the suit snapped. Going after the Missouri puppet and biting into it, he realized that the moth was a puppet, and he would go ballistic and charge after the woman in the larva suit. The man in the suit charges forward against the other suit. The larva suit had plenty of headroom for her to duck down, but that won't stop the man from charging deeper. While her head gets bitten, her parents see everything. They were both mauled to death by the man in the suit. After mauling them, the man in the suit would immediately try and protect the larva suit, but the production crew were ready this time. With tasers, they stunned him away from the larva suit, and in some fit of rage, he barges through security and escapes. There was a team that was quickly dispatched to catch the man in the suit. 4 men were tasked to stay with the larva suit, wanting to try and get her out of it. The spy was in the team to get the man in the suit. It took an hour to find the man in the suit. They saw him looking around the forest, as if he was just wandering around and looking at nature, as if he was calm. The calmness broke as it saw the people trying to capture it. The man in the suit was surrounded. Then it would start to shake violently. He twitched as a sudden sound as if he was vibrating. It vomited a red boiling liquid, presumably his own blood. It was probably a last resort the creature had, but somehow they had a hold of the beast and took it back. The spy took a picture of what was left. They left quickly to go put the man in the suit into a secure place. They feared the worst coming back. Alright, now that we've been through all the videos so far, here is my rundown of the series as it is right now and what I think is in store for the future. In the beginning of this series, we see an unknown actor whose family was killed during the bombing of Hiroshima, which left him permanently scarred with a deep desire for revenge against Americans, especially the ones responsible for the bombing. Years later, after getting the role of the suit actor for Godzilla, he became obsessed with the character to the point of viewing the suit Goji as a living being and god. So he offers himself to become one with Godzilla because he can give him the one thing he desires most: power. The power to avenge his family. The power to, in his mind, make the world a better place. And one way I believe he's trying to do that is by infecting other suit actors to be like him, thereby making himself a sort of weird pseudo-kaiju army that can grow in number with each Godzilla movie being made. And it's unclear how exactly he first started mutating, but it's heavily implied that it's through some sort of mutation caused by high levels of radiation, potentially through whatever drug that he took. But that just doesn't really make sense or tell the whole story. But regardless, this constant mutation evolution he's going through seems to get progressively worse and worse, to the point where he might just become a real-life kaiju capable of destroying cities or, at the very least, cause massive amounts of death and destruction. This is showcased in the fourth entry and also foreshadowed in his abilities, such as being able to regenerate lost limbs, infecting other people with his same affliction, growing in size, and as we see in the last video, spitting out boiling blood that is very reminiscent to Shin Godzilla, who every time would reach a new phase of evolution would shed large amounts of his own blood. However, there is one element of the story that I purposely neglected to talk about that much until now: Toho. Now, most of the series mostly focuses on the man in the suit himself, but Toho is the reason that any of these events keep happening. Because from the very beginning, Toho could have got proper care for the man in the suit. They could have stopped the production of Godzilla movies until things were resolved, or they could simply have just destroyed the suit creatures at any time. But they don't. You see, Toho in this universe doesn't care about the lives of their employees or the public. Their only concern is to make money and maintain their image by any means necessary. And yes, if that includes keeping these mutated suit creatures held captive and training them for entertainment just to make money and trying to cover up any deaths along the way, well, Toho was willing to make that sacrifice. And unfortunately for our unofficial protagonist, the cameraman, he witnessed many of these events firsthand and was thrust into a series of events that he has no real hope of escaping from. And his only hope is that he can somehow manage to euthanize or put down the man in the suit, or be forced to witness as Goji makes his dream of revenge a reality. But for that, we'll just have to wait and see. But there you have it, folks. That is the Man in the Suit series as it stands today. Shout out once again to the creator unknowingly for creating this lovely little series and also replying to me very quickly in the comments. Thank you for that. I highly recommend you go and check out the series for yourself. Again, I will leave a link in the description below. I just love analog horror series, especially ones that approach things in a new, creative, or unique way. Because, you know, it gets old seeing the same, found footage VHS tapes over and over again, or the Local 58 ripoffs. This is just something new and creative, and I just really want to talk about it, as only a couple people have really picked up on it lately on YouTube, and it's just now starting to get popular. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to share it with you guys, and hopefully you all enjoyed it as much as I did. And hey guys, just for fun, why don't you tell me in the comments below what your favorite Godzilla movie is? I mean, are you a fan of them like Millennia era, or the New Age movies, or maybe the OG ones, I doubt most people will be. They're kind of cheesy, but hey, they're classics. Oh yeah, guys, for my next video, I am working on something rather special. It kind of relates to Island of the Slaughtered, so I know many of you guys are going to be hyped for that. I'll try to get it out as soon as I can. I'm still kind of working on the deets for that, so yeah, you'll find out more eventually in a little bit, I promise. But guys, just to wrap this video up, as always, thank you for watching. And just in case I don't see you, stay safe and have a good one. Goodbye.